I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Friday, February the 14th, 2014. In an effort to further push along peace efforts in the Middle East, U.S. President Barack Obama met with Jordan's King Abdullah II today in Palm Springs. The two leaders met at the Sunnylands retreat at the Annenberg Estate in the desert resort to discuss the Syrian conflict, including the countless refugees seeking safety in Jordan from the war-torn country, and current peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The meeting with Abdullah precedes a meeting next month between President Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu that is scheduled for March the 3rd at the White House.
How we can continue to be supportive and helpful.
Jewish leaders here in the U.S. are expressing their support for the peace initiative in the Middle East, led by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. 152 Jewish Americans signed a letter to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Wednesday, an effort initiated by the Israel Policy Forum, lauding Kerry's efforts. It reads, as American advocates for a strong Jewish and democratic Israel, we have been heartened by Secretary of State John Kerry's extraordinary resolve to advance this process, consistent with America's unwavering commitment to Israel's security. The letter calls Kerry's diplomatic efforts an unprecedented opportunity to ensure Israel's security and keep Israel's Jewish identity and democracy. Among the notables who signed onto the letter, Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, Holocaust scholar Deborah Lipstadt, President of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs Rabbi Steve Guto, and President of the Union for Reform Judaism Rabbi Rick Jacobs. American Jewish leaders took part in a historic visit to Spain this week. 60 leaders of member organizations of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations made the conference's first official visit to Spain and met with the country's leader, King Juan Carlos I, in a delegation led by conference chairman Robert Sugarman and executive vice chairman Malcolm Hoenlein. The visit follows Spain's recent legislation allowing for Jews whose ancestors were driven out of the country during the Spanish Inquisition to apply for Spanish citizenship while still maintaining their present citizenship. Hoenlein said the visit was intended to, quote, break down barriers of the past and build bridges for the future. King Juan Carlos addressed Jewish heritage and its contributions at the meeting and said Spain's doors are open to you now and always. And a 50-member delegation from the American Jewish Committee met with the Pope in Vatican City this week. AJC President Stanley Bergman led a leadership delegation in a private audience with Pope Francis, where the new pontiff told AJC leaders that he was thankful for their efforts in promoting Jewish-Catholic relations. The Pope said, I am very grateful to you for the distinguished contribution you have made to dialogue and fraternity between Jews and Catholics, adding it is important that we dedicate ourselves to new generations, the heritage of our mutual knowledge, esteem, and friendship, which has, thanks to the commitment of associations like yours, grown over these years. Bergman expressed his gratitude for the Pope's rejection of anti-Semitism and for the Pope's work for many years with the Jewish community in his native Argentina, where he served as Archbishop and Cardinal, and for his overall commitment to the Catholic-Jewish relationship. Retired Israeli High Court Justice Dalia Dorner has announced her candidacy to run for Israel's next president, replacing President Shimon Peres. According to a report on Israel's Army radio yesterday, if Dorner's candidacy is accepted, she will be the only female candidate so far in the running for the 2014 campaign. She will also be the second woman to run for the position. The Times of Israel reported that Dormer, who is 79, announced her bid at a lecture at the Technion University in Haifa, where she said, I decided it was time for Israel to have a female president, adding, even if I'm not chosen, it will open the door for future generations of candidates. The elections for Israel's president are set to take place in June. Denmark has put through legislation that ultimately will ban shechita or kosher slaughter in the country. The World Jewish Congress said that Denmark's Agriculture and Food Minister Dan Jorgensen approved a new regulation barring the slaughter of animals without first stunning them, something which is against the laws of kosher slaughter. Jorgensen was quoted as saying that animal rights come before religion. It is thought that the legislation, which goes into effect this coming Monday, will not have a major impact on Jewish life in Denmark, since all kosher meat sold there over the past decade is imported. However, it does raise concern for both the Jewish and Muslim communities there, who have argued that the regulations infringe on their religious freedom. We've been reporting to you about several Israeli defense innovations unveiled at the Singapore Air Show this week, Asia's largest aerospace and defense exhibition. Add to that the development of laser technology that could help Israel protect its citizens against rocket attacks. Iron Beam was developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. It's designed to intercept close-range drones, rockets, and mortars, which might not stay in the air long enough for Israel's current missile defense system, Iron Dome, to successfully intercept them. The technology of Iron Beam involves shooting laser beams at targets which are heated so quickly they disintegrate almost immediately. Company spokesman Amit Zimmer said the technology was reminiscent of something you'd see in the movie Star Wars. He said, quote, "You see the lasers go up so quickly like a flash and the target is finished." Zimmer said the technology took 15 engineers about 5 years to develop. Officials are not saying yet when and how the Iron Beam will be deployed. A large Japanese e-commerce company has bought Israeli-founded video and chat company Viber. Rakuten Incorporated announced its acquisition of the pioneering instant messaging app provider for $900 million. Viber currently has 200 million users who use the program to make calls and send texts to other users using data or Wi-Fi. Its CEO, Talmon Marco, said the company's vision is to be the world's #1 communications platform, and he said our combination with Rakuten is an important step in that direction. Taking a look at how the Israeli Olympic delegation has done this week at the 2014 Games in Sochi, Russia, Israel's figure skater, Ukrainian-born Alexei Bachenko, made it into the free program of the men's figure skating event, which takes place today. Bachenko made the cut after finishing in 22nd place yesterday during his short program. Israeli short track speed skater, also from the Ukraine, Vladislav Bikhanov, did not reach the quarterfinals of his 1,000-meter event yesterday, but he still has a chance to show his stuff when he participates in the 500-meter competition this coming Tuesday. Israeli skier and Belgian native Virgil van de Put will race in the giant slalom on Wednesday and in another race next Saturday. And Israeli pair skaters, Ukrainian-born Evgeny Krasnopolsky and American-born Andrea Davidovich, finished in 15th place on Wednesday and said that despite not making it further in the competition, they were very pleased that they qualified for the free skating event and for their participation in their very first Olympic Games. And turning to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Friday, February the 14th, live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 from Central Synagogue in New York City. Then at 7:30, New Jewish Cinema features Eve Annenberg, the director of Romeo and Juliet in Yiddish. That is followed at 8 with the making of the film The Imported Bridegroom and the showing of the film itself at 8:30, followed by From Date to Mate at 10. That's tonight here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Friday, February the 14th, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.